Good evening, everybody. It's Charlie, and welcome back to another video on the Chatting Leeds YouTube channel. Hope everyone has had a great Sunday so far. It's time for the final say on yesterday's 2-2 draw with Brighton and Hove Albion at Elland Road. Just before we go any further, please smash that like button. It really helps get the stream out there. Please subscribe to the channel if you're brand new. We're on the road to 3K. So if you could do me a solid if you're brand new and just hit that subscribe button, it is free and it will massively help me out. Also, hit all of your comments and your thoughts in the live chat as we go along. Any donations, super chats, anything like that is very much appreciated if you can. And hit that notification bell so that you're always aware of when I'm uploading. So we'll just get into a few of your comments before we go any further. Mark's in the building saying that we played a good game. If Jack hadn't have put the ball in our net, we would have had 3 points. Plus, we came back twice against a very good team and a lot of positives. I think it means we're going to stay up there. Fair enough, mate. That's good to hear. Evening, Jason. How we doing, pal? Hi there, Charlie. Okay, I'm good, Manji. I'm good. So, yeah, obviously, I think we all knew pre-game that this was going to be a very tough ask for Leeds United to get 3 points. I think Brighton under Roberto De Zerbi have got even better than what they were under Graham Potter. Some really top talents in there, some unknown players until they've come to the Premier League. But boy, have they proven themselves, the likes of Mitoma, Caicedo, even the old veterans like Dunk and Veltman, who have been there for quite a while, are really proving themselves at the minute. And I, like I said, was always going to be a tough ask, but obviously there was that glimmer of hope for me that thought, we're at Elland Road, crowd behind us. Hopefully the players could feed off that, and then hopefully Leeds could have got the win. But it wasn't to be. We take a very valuable point against a good side. However, as the title of the video suggests, for me, it is still very worrying times for Leeds United. For me, 2 positives from yesterday was that we scored 2 goals, and that we took something from the game. Other than that, I didn't see much improvement from Chelsea. In all honesty, I'm just going to be real on this one, guys. We are in deep trouble. Leeds are 19th at the minute. Obviously, results didn't go our way. West Ham have picked up a point against Aston Villa today, which was unexpected for me. I thought Aston Villa had got the job done there. But, it's getting to that point in season now where teams in and around us are going to start getting points because everyone has got to still play each other. And yeah, I'm extremely worried, guys. I can't lie. So I have, as always, I've noted down a few points that I want to get out. But we'll just get into a few comments that I've just dropped in. Michael, good evening, mate. How are you? You okay? Mark is in the building again. Cine Rodrigo Cooper back only going one way. That's up. I agree with you for 2 of those players, mate. Maybe not Cooper, but hey ho. Warren's in the building. Hello, mate. For me, really need to start playing Sam Greenwood back as a 10. And next year in the Championship, have Sam and Joffe as 9 and 10 and Cressy at centre back. So Warren's already preparing for the Championship. Right. Okay. Fair enough. I can understand you thinking there, mate. It isn't looking good, is it? Michael, the makeup of the bottom 6/7 teams will change from week to week. Exactly. I'm just, in fact, before we go any further, I'm just going to share my screen with you. Let's just have a look. So, if you look there, I mean, look at Crystal Palace and then look at Southampton. There is 5 points separating those teams. 5. If results go our way next week and we can beat Wolves, then we'll jump up to potentially 15th, 16th. And then another win could see us maybe 13th, 14th. So I've said it on other videos. A few a few points in quick succession and you can pull away. You can pull away, but this is my feeling at the minute. There are teams like Bournemouth yesterday. Now, I know we beat Liverpool at Anfield, but I'm talking in the pressure moments now because it's business time now. It's the business end of the season. Bournemouth are able to get a result like that after Liverpool beat Man United 7-0 last week. They were able to grind out a 1-0 win against Liverpool. Everton at Goodison Park beat Brentford, who were on the similar trajectory as Brighton. They got a 1-0 win, grinded out a win. Yes, we grinded out a point yesterday, but overall, can you see Leeds United grinding out a result like that? Yes, we beat Southampton at Elland Road, but, you know, for example, when we play Arsenal away, is anyone expecting Leeds United to grind out a boring, gritty 1-0 win at the Emirates? I'm not. And that's not being negative, that's just me being real. I don't think we'll beat Arsenal at the Emirates. Did you see how they made Fulham look earlier? And Fulham have had a decent season, and they made Fulham look silly. Like I say, guys, I'm gonna try and add some positives at various points throughout this stream. However, I have to be real on a lot of the points. So we'll start off with the lineup. Nonto and McKennie on the bench. Why? Has Javi Gracia got an issue with Willie Nonto? Is he not rating him for some reason? Because in the games that Gracia has been in charge, when he started Nonto, he's taken him off quite early in the game. And then in the games that he hasn't started, he brings him on for what, 20 minutes or so? And we saw yesterday, when we bring Willie Nonto on, and when he's on the pitch, he stretches the play, draws defenders to him, which allows space for others. And he was really good when he come on yesterday. Who knows? If Nonto had started the game, we may have had a bit more joy. Because he was causing that Brighton defence some serious problems at times when he came on. But again, it felt like it was a bit too late for us to get the 3 points once we did bring him on. And Weston McKennie, now, this one could divide opinion, but I don't think McKennie has done anything that bad since he's come in. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but I can't remember a time when McKennie's had a terrible game. Even in that Everton game at Goodison, I thought he was okay. I don't think he's been woeful since he's come in. Yes, his passing isn't great, but because we had Adams and Rocker on the pitch yesterday, if McKennie had started, he could have provided that extra man in attack, box to box, attacking, defending. But for some reason, obviously, I know we saw it at Fulham in the Cup, but he seems reluctant to play the midfield three of Adams, Rocker and McKennie. And he seems reluctant to play Nonto. You know, Chelsea last week starts him on the bench. And Jack Harrison takes his place. Now, yes, Jack Harrison scored, assisted, and scored an own goal all in the same game. If that's not Leeds United for you, then I don't know what is. But I will be coming on to Jack Harrison in a little bit, so please stay tuned. There's 18 of you in the building. If you haven't already, please smash a like on the stream. It really helps get it out there. Please subscribe if you're new to the channel as well, and get all of your thoughts and opinions in the comment section as we go along. So yeah, that's my first point. Just on the lineups, I think it baffled me a little bit. It really did. Jason, 12 or 15 points keeps us up. Yeah, it probably does. I mean, are we capable of getting those points, mate? That's the question at the minute. Kevin Otto, hi Charlie. It seemed with the Brighton game, Javi set the team up for us to draw the match. Yeah, and my uncle said that in the concourse at half time. He said, I feel like he's picked the team to be safe. You know, you're at Elland Road. You need to go for these teams, which the press was just non-existent, which is why I think a lot of the crowd did start to boo, and there was chance of what the F is going on. That was right before Patrick Bamford's equaliser as well, and then there's Firpo digging out the south stand, and he's going like that. I didn't write that from Firpo. He's been playing well of late as Firpo, but end of the day, we're all paying customers at the end of the day, and it was very frustrating and poor up until that Bamford equaliser. Even after the Bamford equaliser, there was some bits in there that was just very comical. When we needed 3 points, he was cautious in attack. Yeah. If Jack had not scored the own goal, it would have been 3 points. But I understand your point there, Matt. But at the end of the day, he did score an own goal. And that defending in the lead up to that own goal was laughable. Really laughable, actually. Kevin Otto, and you have to take certain risks when you're in the relegation. Yeah, you do. For me, yes, Rodrigo and Cine were getting back from injury, so I can live with them being on the bench for this. But Nonto's fit, get him on. McKennie's fit, get him in that lineup. Give yourself the best possible chance at home of getting points. You have to target your home games. I think Willie needed a rest. Did he? I don't think so. I disagree there. I really. I know he's only 19. He's a young player, but he's shown that he's very capable of playing in this league. And for me, he's in our best 11 when everyone's fit. He is. Somerville, I thought, was shocking again yesterday. So weak on the ball, as was Aronson. For me, Elland needs dropping, spends too much time on his heels rather than his toes. I mean, if we had another competent keeper that could step in his place, then I would be on board with that. But I think Robles, is he really capable of coming in at the minute? I wouldn't trust him. I can't lie. I think the appearances we've seen from him, he hasn't been great. I'm thinking Cardiff away in the FA Cup. I'm thinking Wolves away in the Carabao Cup. Julie's here. Evening, Julie. Evening, Julie. How you doing? McKennie Adams always starting trouble. Yellow cards, totting up. Did Adams get booked yesterday? I can't remember. Hit me up in the comments. Did Adams get booked yesterday? I know McKennie didn't, I don't think. Jerry's in the building. Evening, Jerry. We've gone backwards since the end of the window, possibly the worst team in the division. Hard to say, but we played better under Marsh. Couldn't believe how poor we have become since spending 80 mil. I agree with the fact that we have gone backwards. Worst team in the division. Can't totally disagree with that. We've won the least amount of games in the whole division, even though Southampton are dead bottom. I disagree that we played better under Jesse Marsh. I think Javi Gracia has improved a lot of elements of our game. It isn't the finished article, clearly, but I disagree there. I think it's much better than Marsh ball, 100%. Would you start Rasmus against Wolves? No, I wouldn't. Ayling did have a poor game, Jason, yesterday. He did. But I think overall, of late, he has been good. And let's be honest, Rasmus has not been great in the appearances that we've seen of him, is he? I'm just getting my notes up again here. Sorry about this. Right then. So I've kind of briefly touched upon this already, but for me, it's a bit of a grey area. Is this point that I'm about to make now? The crowd were booing and they were chanting, "What the F is going on?" as a result of the fact that when Brighton had the ball at the back, when their centre halves had hold of the ball, we just stood in front of them and didn't press them. Now, The reason why I'm saying I'm a bit 50-50 on if I'm annoyed at this or not is because, on one hand, if we pressed them too much, I think they very much had the ability to pick us apart in midfield, which I think they did on a few occasions, in all honesty. But that's kind of the point where I'm like, right, okay, fair enough. If that's the plan, then fine. But then on the other hand, like I've said, we're at home, we're at Elland Road, crowd are up for it, we're gearing behind the lads. I was in the south stand, everybody was getting behind them. But it seemed like the players didn't know what the plan was. Now, I'm sure they did. It's just the body language and how it came across was that I feel like if the players had just been focused on the ball and, they were tracking each pass and everything, then you could have understood what the plan was. But I think I saw Bamford, I saw Aronson, Somerville, all just looking at each other like this, thinking, what do we do? Like, do we press or do we not? There was a few times when Leeds did press them and we managed to win the ball back. So I was thinking, well, if it's worked a few times, then keep on doing it. But then, like I just said, the first point on that, if we'd have pressed them and pressed them and pressed them and pressed them, they would have quite easily picked us apart in midfield. I think they did win the midfield battle. I think there were times where our midfield looked non-existent. Um, Alexis McAllister, Caicedo, Pascal Gross, Solly March, very serious ballers, very good players. Mitoma had Luke Ayling on toast for the whole game. That same ball over Luke Ayling. It was predictable from Brighton what they were trying, and you'd think after a few times of them trying it, that Leeds would click onto it, but it just didn't. It just didn't seem like we were clicking on. It just didn't. And what do you guys think? I mean, do you think it was right that we sat off them and like invited pressure, or do you think we should have gone for them a little bit more and maybe got in the faces to put them under a little bit of pressure? I don't know. But anyway, Kevin, Ilan okay when he's dealing with shots near him, but being caught off his line and easy to bend it in. Yeah, can't disagree. Michael's back again. You have to look at the current form guide in the Premier League. 20th Crystal Palace, 19th Nottingham Forest, 18th Leeds United, 17th Leicester. Right, okay. Well, that's obviously understandable. But people keep saying that Palace are getting dragged in, which they are. I fully agree. Do I think they'll go down though? No, I don't. I think Palace have got enough quality in their side to keep them in the division, 100%. Form guide shows that despite Nottingham Forest and Crystal Palace being a few points ahead of Leeds, their form has been dipping, and if Leeds can gain on them, they will be drawn into the relegation battle. Exactly, it's that tight at the bottom at the minute. A couple of wins on bounce, and you're comfortably mid-table. I think. Look, Wolves away next week. I watched them against Newcastle earlier on, and we can get at them. We can. Wolves. I think everyone's got this feeling that under Lopetegui they've improved. I don't know if they were just having an off day. I know that they beat Spurs last week. Fair enough, but I think it. He tried to change it quite a few times against Newcastle earlier, and it just didn't work for them. They didn't look like they knew what they were doing at the back. I think if Cine and Rodrigo are more fit by then, and he starts Nonto, plays a midfield three of Rocker, Adams, and McKennie. If he plays our best lineup, I think we can beat Wolves. Definitely. But my fear, though, is that because Bamford and Jack Harrison both scored yesterday, that he'll play them again. And part of me is thinking there's nothing wrong with that. That it's technically players on form, isn't it, who have scored in their last few games. But I have to be real. Apart from their goals, I thought they were two of the worst players on the pitch. Thought Bamford was getting shrugged off the ball too easily. Soft. His link-up play wasn't great. Really good finish. Fair play to him. Cracking finish. As for Harrison, thought he started the game quite well. Looked fairly bright, fairly positive. But then the Jack Harrison of old came out and, head in the air if something didn't work. Poor passing. Getting forward, the crowd are urging him to take his man on, and he just passes it back because he's low on confidence. My front three would be Nonto, Rodrigo, and Sinistera. Midfield three of Rocket, Adams, and McKenna, and Ayling, Koch, Verbert, and Firpo at the back with Meslier in goal. That would be my lineup for Wolves. Do I think he'll go with that? No, I don't. Somerville needs dropping as well. Again, weak, soft, poor on the ball. He had a purple patch before World Cup where he scored a few goals and everyone thought it was good, but I've seen a lot of people say it and it's right. He's got a lot to learn. A lack of composure, a lack of quality in the final third from him a lot of the time. But yeah, like I said, if he plays our strongest team, we can definitely get something at Wolves. And then obviously we've got Arsenal away after international break. I'm kind of saying that as a free hit, to be honest. Then we've got Forest and Palace back to back at home. Those games, I said it yesterday on the drive home to my uncle in the car. For me, after the Palace game, we will know if we're going to be in the division next year or not, in my opinion. 100%, we will know. Because if we don't get 6 points from Forest and Palace, and other teams in and around us will, of course, and inevitably get points in that time, I think we'll be done at that point. I do. I know there'll be still games left to play and it could still be close in terms of the numbers. But could you imagine if we lose both them games? Could you imagine if we get beat by Forest and Palace? Or if we get like 1 point out of them? Come on. We need to seriously be targeting our home games now. Seriously. And losing the ball time and time again. I've said it before, there's a chance, well, an instance, sorry, in the second half where Koch has the ball at the back. He's driving out of defence, trying to start a counter attack. And instead of just laying it off to Adams, nice 5-yard pass, 5 to 10-yard pass, just boots it into the east stand. And everyone's just looking around us in South Stand going, what has he seen there? What has he seen there to just boot the ball into the east stand? Now, I get it. He was probably looking for Adams, but it was so far away from Adams. And this is what I mean about composure in certain moments. Lack of quality. Sometimes at the back, I think we're a lot better defensively under the new manager. But lack of quality in that final third. Both goals were stunning strikes. But our build-up play was a bit better in certain attacks. But it still wasn't, And obviously, when Rodrigo and Cine came on, we moved to a front two of Rodrigo and Ruta because we brought him on as well. Ruta didn't really do much in the game. Rodrigo looked rusty. I think Rodrigo should have had a penalty in the second half at 2-2. I didn't think it was a pen in the ground, but I've watched it back a few times. And for me, if that's anywhere else on the pitch, it's a foul. So that should have been a penalty. But again, the consistency of the officiating in this league is just an absolute shambles. But it is what it is. But yeah, we seriously need to improve in possession. Time and time again, we give the ball away in very dangerous areas. The Fulham goal in the FA Cup game tries to play it in a rocker and it's behind him. And then he literally just latches onto it. does that Fulham player and puts it at the top. In there are certain elements and certain moments in our play at the minute where if we just had a bit more composure, a bit more quality, I think we would get way more joy. Way more joy. On to a positive then. I've alluded to it a few times, but we'll discuss it in a little bit more detail now. Two fantastic goals from Patrick Bamford and Jack Harrison. Obviously, Bamford's did take a slight deflection, but when that happened, I just turned round to the lads that stand behind me and I just said, that's what happens when we move the ball quickly and when we just have the balls to have a shot. Because the reluctance to shoot lately, it's just mind blowing. McKennie has a chance in second half where he could pull the trigger and he doesn't. And I get it, they're probably a bit low on confidence at the minute, and I can appreciate that. But you've got to take risks. Someone said it in the comments earlier. In this relegation battle, you have to take risks. Patrick Bamford's goal, brilliant finish. Jack Harrison on his weaker foot, his right foot, brilliant finish as well. And obviously, Jack Harrison did get an own goal as well, which the defending for that goal was just laughable, wasn't it? Let's just be real here. Let's just go into a few more of your comments. Mark Hemingway, Nonto, Cine Rodrigo, Rooted, Bamford, and Jack. There are plenty to choose from to get us up the table. Yep, I agree. 100%. January, February, we are always bad. World Cup break was time for the change. Orta has always wasted loads of money and should have gone as well. Completely agree with you there. We should have got rid of Jesse Marsh. Probably after Fulham at home pre-World Cup. Obviously, they gave him that Liverpool game. I think that's the worst thing that could have happened to us this season. You might laugh because it was a win at Anfield and it was a great night, and Somerville scores as winner. Yeah, fair enough. But if we'd have lost that game, it might have been short-term pain for long-term gain. The change could have been made then. Javi Gracia, if it was him, could have come in. He'd have had the whole World Cup break to implement his ideas. We could have started the second half of the season on a high, but we didn't because we are very, very negligent at board level, and they're naive, very naive. Jason saying that the plan was don't lose. Don't forget what Brighton have done recently. To be fair, you take a point at the start. However, 3 points at Wolves are must. And yeah, look, I think prior to the Brighton game, I would have definitely snapped your hand off for a point. And of course, if other results had gone our way yesterday, I think I'd have been a little bit more upbeat about it. But I still think the all-round play and our performance as a whole was still very poor. We scored 2 very good goals, top finishes, but the quality and the composure in certain moments is just not there. And I see a team of 11 very nervous individuals. You could tell by the body language that they're panicking, as are we. If they're panicking, then Jesus, what are we doing? And look, I get it. They're human beings at the end of the day. They know the severity of the situation. But I just expect more at Elland Road. I do. I think if the performance had been positive and it had been a point, regardless of the other results not going for us, if the performance had been there, if it could have been one where we came away disappointed not to win, or if it was a gritted, determined performance, but I think it was just 2 very good finishes. Other than that, there wasn't a lot to rave on about, in all honesty, but that's just my opinion. Leeds have been used to a style of play. Gracia is trying to make Leeds more compact as a team, which is why it will take more time for Leeds to adjust. It's just why the team. Yeah. I mean, I think he's come out in his comments after the game, hasn't he, Javi, and said that was part of the plan to not press them as much. So, which fair play if that is the plan, because they did stick to it. It was just very, very frustrating to watch, and I think that's why the crowd started to vent their frustrations. I personally didn't boo or chant what the F is going on. It's not that I don't agree with it because I can agree with the frustration. I just don't. It isn't me to really be like that, and for me, I just don't think it's needed in certain moments. The question is, Michael Brown. It's all a big if. Yeah, yes, it is. Leeds time and time again always concede first. When they do that, they don't win. It's only happened once in the Premier League, and that was at home to Bournemouth. We didn't concede. I don't think we conceded first against Bournemouth. I think we scored an early penalty, but I can understand your point there. I feel like if Leeds concede first in a game, the most we can get is a draw because I think whether it's home or away, I think Leeds always start off quite brightly. But then as soon as it starts to not go our way, whether it's the other team just growing in confidence, whether it's the other team scoring first, I just think the confidence just goes like that. And you can see it in the body language, which is the more annoying thing as well. You don't see like yesterday, I didn't really see anyone gearing everyone up and trying to get their heads switched on and things like that. It was just very slow and lethargic for the majority, I thought. Somerville tosh since he scored at Liverpool. Sorry, not good enough. Greedy with the ball. Yep, 100% Julie. Completely agree. And yeah, I think we can definitely get 3 points at Molineux next week. Cini and Rodrigo need easing in, so bench for Wolves. Let's not break them. International break them back in the starting lineup for Arsenal. Yeah, I can understand that, Jace. However, for me, I think we're at the point now where it's needs must. And if Cini and Rodrigo are more fit for Wolves, I would start them. I would. But that's just me. Again, I can understand your point there, mate, 100%. But it's it's desperate times now, isn't it? It's very desperate times. But I don't think they'll start for Wolves. I don't. But that's what I would do. But yeah, we need the best possible lineup against Arsenal to give us any remote chance of picking anything up in that game. Oh, a relegated Middlesbrough now to relegate Leeds. So sad. God, it is sad when you say it out loud, innit? Um, I'm not at the point of thinking that we're 100% done, but I'm very much getting to that point. It's very, very worrying at the minute. Very worrying. Um, but yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think of anything else that I've got to say on it, really, but we'll just get Kevin's comment in. Midfield, except maybe for Southampton, the worst in the bottom half for chance creation and finding their own teammates. Passing is horrendous. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I would say so as well. I think Adams hasn't been as good lately as what he's been, for the majority of the season. Hasn't been terrible, but he's just not been as effective. But yeah, I 100% agree with you there. I think our midfielders, they don't score goals, they don't assist, you know, and it's the same point as like I can remember last season when Adam Forshaw like started to get a consistent run in the side, and everyone was raving on about him. And then someone made a point once about him. It's like, well, is he that good? Because he doesn't score and he doesn't assist. He does a lot of sideways passing. I think that's what our midfield do. I think Rocker's scored one goal. I think he scored in that 5-2 defeat at Brentford. So he scored one goal all season. Fair enough. McKennie's not scored since he's come in. Tyler Adams has not scored. I understand the different maybe sorts of players, but I'd expect Rocker to maybe have a few more goals or at least more assists. So, that's a really good point that from Kevin. It is really good point. Manjeet's back. Must agree with you, Charlie. Hope the players have the bottle to see this through. Goal difference is big. Plus, let's hope one of these games everything goes our way just for once and we hammer someone. I don't even think it's about hammering anyone, Manjeet. I just think we need other results to go our way. And I get it when people go, we just need to focus on ourselves. I get that. But the predicament that we're in at the minute, you can't help but not look at the table. Do you know what I mean? Like you know, I've still got it up in front of me here. Look, I mean, the form of some of these teams. Like look at Leicester. Leicester, they won and then they've lost the last four. You know, Everton, win, draw, loss, win. Forest, lost, drawn, lost, drawn, lost. Palace have drawn the last. No, they've lost the last two and then they drew the previous three before that. Leeds, draw, loss, win, loss. It's all kind of very similar types of form at the bottom, so you can never really call a result properly from week to week. I mean, I had an Acker on today, and I had Villa to beat West Ham, and that let me down. I had Man United to beat Southampton as well, but obviously the Casemiro red card, I think, was a huge factor on that game being 0-0 in the end. Michael Brown. Whenever I see your name, I just think of Michael Brown that used to play for Leeds. God, different times. Also, have to admit the standard of the bottom teams this season has been better than the previous 2 seasons, when at least the bottom 2 or 3 teams have been cut adrift. Yeah, I completely agree with that. There isn't a Norwich or a Watford or a Burnley in this division this season, is there? But I think on the flip side of that, it also shows how poor the bottom half teams are this season, and that, you know, if you scroll up on the league table, if you look at the top 10, you know, I just think other than City and Arsenal, like Man United are in third and they're 11 points behind second. So it just shows you that is it as other than City and Arsenal, is it really that competitive this season? I think anybody can get points off anyone at the minute. You know, if you look at Brighton's form recently, to be fair, you know, they drew yesterday, they won the previous one, they lost, then drew, and then won. So their form's been a bit, you know, it's only Arsenal. I mean, look at that, all green there, all wins in the last 5. City are unbeaten in the last 5 with 4 wins and a draw. So, you know, yeah, that's actually depressed me a little bit, looking at the top teams there. Kevin's in the building again. I'm not worried about the relegation zone. Leeds find themselves in because Wolves and Forest could get sucked into it. And this season, there's several teams could go down, so they're great at the chance of survival. Yeah, I think that's the only slight positive you can take on it at the minute, isn't there? That there's that many teams in this relegation battle at the minute that, and I think there'll be a big team go down this year, whether it's us, whether it's West Ham, even Everton. Everton could still get dragged in. You never know. Yeah, I seriously think there'll be a shock this season with who could go down. Also, have to admit the standard of the bottom teams this season has been better than the previous. Oh, sorry, I think I've just read that one, haven't I? We have a better goal difference than some of the teams. Yeah, that could be a factor. Mark, keep the faith, everyone. We got the players to keep us up. We don't need negativity. I'm not being negative, Mark. I'm just being real with how I'm feeling. I do feel that performance yesterday was very worrying in terms of moving forward. Like, have this squad got the bottle? Have they got the bottle to grind results out and keep us in the division? Sometimes I do question the mentality of this squad. I really do. Everybody's form is shocking, but we're dropping like a stone. Yeah, can't disagree. Kevin, we really need a turn in form, don't we? But just a last question then, before we wrap it up, guys, because I'm interested, obviously, as we're discussing the relegation zone. Come the end of the season, who do you think the 3 teams will be that go down? Who will finish in the bottom 3 and be relegated from the Premier League? Because obviously at the minute, given how poor we look, I feel like it'd be too negative for me to say us. But if Leeds are to stay up, I think the bottom three will be Southampton, Bournemouth, and Nottingham Forest, because I've had a look at their fixtures and they've got some very, very difficult fixtures coming up, which I can't see them getting much points in, hopefully. If we are to be included in that, I think Bournemouth could stay up, potentially. So you probably look at Southampton, us, and Forest. But that's my bottom three if we're included. But if we stay up, I think the bottom three will be Southampton, Bournemouth, and Nottingham Forest. As I say, guys, hit me up in the comments with who you think, and I'll flash your relegated teams on screen, and we can finish there. Look at goal difference last year under Bielsa, we still stayed up. Yeah, that's a good point. Marsh gave too much information on how Leeds play, which is why opponents always knew they had to bypass Leeds' pressing style. Yeah, that's true. Maybe that's why Javi Gracia decided to maybe not press Brighton as much yesterday. But like I said, I thought it was very frustrating to watch. Very frustrating to watch. Brighton, like at one point, the Brighton centre half just put his foot on the ball and he just stood there. And then you've got Bamford and Aronson and Harrison just looking at each other like, what do we do? But yeah, I just think the all-round performance yesterday, if you take the really stunning finishes for the goals out of it, I think was very, very poor and very worrying, and we are in big, big trouble. Nobody's putting in their relegated three teams as of yet. Come on, guys, hit me up in the comments down below. There's 21 of you in the building. Please share all of your thoughts. Who do you think the relegated three teams will be? Who do you think is going down this season? Mark's in with Southampton, Forest, and Wolves. Wolves, interesting. Can you elaborate on why you think Wolves might go down, mate? I agree that they're not in great form and they certainly didn't look great against Newcastle earlier. I think we can definitely get something against them next week, but I think they've got just enough quality to stay in the league, I think. I think it'll be tight, though, so I can understand why you're saying that. Agree with you 100% and go with those three. Is that the three including us, Manji, or is that the three without Leeds United in? Because but look, I mean, for me, if you agree with either of those, then I can fully understand why people have Leeds United in their three teams at the minute. I'm just trying to remain as positive as I can until I literally have to accept fate. Which, like I said earlier, after Crystal Palace at home, I think we'll have a very good idea of where Leeds United will be playing their football next season. In a week that we've just renewed as season tickets as well. I mean, let's just touch on that very briefly. Actually, season ticket prices 10% increase. For me, that's a bit of a joke, given the facilities at Elland Road. Given the fact that Elland Road definitely needs an update, the performances on the pitch for the last 12 to 18 months have been shocking. Only just stayed up last season. We're in a relegation fight again, and you're upping the price by 10%. I get it when they've said that they'll refund it if Leeds go down, but you might as well just keep the prices at the same price, in my opinion. But that's just a brief rant there on the season tickets. I did renew, so I can't really moan, really, but I will moan because we always like to moan about the price of things, don't we, here in the UK? Gracia gives very little away, which is wise. It may frustrate Leeds supporters how they play, but if they keep picking up points, then it might just keep Leeds up. Yeah, 100%. Forest, Southampton, and Bournemouth. Right, fair enough, Manji. Kevin, Southampton, Bournemouth, and Leeds. Sadly, oh God. Oh, it's when other people say it and you think, oh God. Oh, I just don't want to think about Championship football next season until I really have to, because God, what an hard league to get out of that is. I said out loud, same three as you, Leeds will stay up. Okay, fair play. So that's Forest, Bournemouth, and Southampton. Right, okay. We're just staying up on goal difference. Oh, God. Can you imagine if it goes down to Spurs at home, final home game of the season, and we're needing something? Because let's be honest, they'll be chasing down top 4 or at least a European spot. We'll be fighting to stay in the league if it goes down to the last game. I mean, God. I don't even want to think about it. Don't even want to think about it, Manjeet. Would you like to see Bielsa ball back, attack, or carry on like we are? And then Southampton, Forest, Bournemouth, fair play on those 3 J's. But would I like to see Bielsa ball? I mean, we had it so good for so many seasons under him, didn't we? But I think in the end, he was massively found out, and it cost. Well, it didn't cost us, but it could have cost us our place in the Premier League for this season. So no, when you say carry on like we are, I mean, I know it's not great, but I get where the question stems from. If Gracia plays our best lineup, I think we can definitely get the best out of us, and I think he can find that balance of being solid at the back and good in attack, 100%. I just need to see significant improvement for me to be not worried, basically. Wolves, a team that deserved to go down, went to their ground, come out. My tyres, all 4 had been stolen. What? Really? Was that the Carabao Cup game this season, or was that last season when we came back from 2-0 down and beat them? God, that's mental. Yeah. I want us to win now, just for you, Mark, to avenge your tyres. Michael, Charlie, great content. Really enjoy this live chat segment added to your content. Please keep the segment going. Michael, big thanks. Appreciate that, brother. Honestly, I wish I'd have started doing this sooner. It's really, really good to interact with everyone. Big up to everyone that's in the chat at the minute. Big up to you all. Southampton, Forest, and West Ham. Ooh, that would be a biggie to go, wouldn't it? God, West Ham in the Championship in the London Stadium. Could you imagine how dead it would look? Wow. I think Declan Rice leaves them at the end of the season, regardless of if they stay up or not. There's rumours of him going to Arsenal, isn't there? Which, if Arsenal win the Premier League, that'll be a draw, a good draw for him, won't it? Jerry, can't see us beating the drop 2 seasons on the trot. Hope I'm wrong. Yeah, I mean, we got away with it last season, Jerry, didn't we? And in the summer, we did spend money and we brought players in. I feel like we should have brought a little bit more in the summer window. Kind of made up for it in the winter window. Obviously, bringing in Max Ferber, who's been solid for us so far. Ruta, I think, needs a little bit more time, and I think McKennie has done well since he's come in. So, yeah, I just think the negligence last summer and the negligence to not get rid of Marsh when they had the chance and beating Liverpool away sounds daft, but that was probably one of the worst things that could have happened to us this season because it kept Marsh. It kept Marsh his job, and them numpties that run our club, they should have got rid of him much, much sooner. Last season was when that happened. God, well, at least we won away there last season, Mark. At least you had a good night in that respect. My expat life in Colombia. Appreciate your comment, thank you. Everton, Bournemouth, and Southampton all getting unexpected results. We are going to have to do the same, starting with Wolves. Exactly. I said it earlier on in the stream, guys. These teams are able to pick up results in pressure moments, and we're not doing that at the minute. We're not, which worries me big time. Goal difference is a lot better than last year. Yeah, it is, but I know Manjeet has said we'll stay up on goal difference, but I don't think goal difference is going to come into it. Kevin, by the way, Charlie, I love your content on here and your tweets on Twitter. Kevin, appreciate all of your support, brother. Thank you very much for that. It means the world, does that. Comments like that really do help. If Leeds stay up, they will have to upgrade on certain players like Harrison and Bamford. Yep, completely agree. Look at goal scorers, forward players in the Premier League. They are two-footed, quick, lean, mean, and hungry like Watkins, Wilson. Ollie Watkins, I mean, there was a time where Leeds were linked with him. We should have been all over Ollie Watkins. Even Ings this season, West Ham ended up getting him, but someone should have. If we would have known that Danny Ings was available, we should have. It's proven, it's ready-made for the Premier League. I get why we've signed Ruter because I'm sure in years to come he'll be a great prospect and a top player. But we need something for the here and now, not potential. And Danny Ings would have been amazing in this Leeds United team. I really, really do believe that. Just look at the last 4 fixtures. All will have something at stake. Yeah, exactly. I do not want to be going into the final 4 games needing to get points from them. I think we'll have a very good idea of where we'll be playing our football by the time we get to those last 4. City away, Newcastle at home, which I will be missing. I'm gutted because, well, I say I'm gutted. I will be in Gran Canaria on holiday with the missus and family, so I'll have to find a nice bar to potentially drown my sorrows in. And then obviously West Ham away and then Tottenham at home, which I will be back for. So yeah, God, just thinking about it now is just stressing me out. There you go. Might not be pretty, but he will keep us up. Love the live chat, mate. Keep it up, Mott. Cheers, Jason. Honestly, everyone that's dropped a comment in like that, you don't understand what it does for me. I don't know why I didn't start these live streams sooner because I've really, really enjoyed them. Really, really enjoyed them. Being on Joe, Connor, and All Age TV, they never read out our comments like you do. You interact with the people that watch you. Keep up the great work, brother. I mean, yeah, I appreciate that. The fact that people are even taking time out of their Sunday to come and watch me just chat waffle for nearly an hour now means the world. I'm a smaller YouTube channel than those guys. I actually really enjoy Joe, Connor, and All Leeds TV's content. I do. Ollie Ward as well. I think it's another great channel. If you haven't, go and check those guys out. But yeah, I think I have been on All Leeds TV at the very start of my YouTube journey. They really did help me out, so I have a lot of time for all those creators. I think they create really good content as well. But I do appreciate your comment there, Mark. It really does mean a lot. Leeds need to mix and match their signings going forward. Potential players and players for the here and now. Yeah, 100%, Michael. Paul's in as well. Look, Wolves need a win. Then Arsenal away, doubtful we get anything. Then the biggest week in our recent history, Forest and Palace at home. You've hit the nail on the head there, Paul. We do need a win against Wolves. If we can get that win, great stuff. Arsenal away for me is a free hit. That won't determine our season at all if we lose to them. I actually want Arsenal to win the league as well. Obviously, I'll be wanting Leeds to win on that day. But I am favouring Arsenal to go and win the league. And yeah, Forest and Palace at home are massive fixtures, aren't they? That's probably the biggest, like you've said, it's the biggest and most important week in our recent history. But like I said, I just hope we've got the bottle. I really hope we've got the bottle. So yeah, I think we'll leave it there, guys, for this week's edition of the Final Say. I've said it a few times. I've had a lot of really positive comments from everyone about the content tonight. It really does mean a lot. For someone who, maybe hasn't got as many subscribers as other channels and stuff like that. And I think that's why I've been a bit reluctant to do live streams in the past because I didn't think I'd get this level of interaction. So I'm overwhelmed by everyone's support in the live chat. Big up to everybody that has dropped a comment in. Big up to everybody that's even just dropped in to listen, even if you've not commented. Plenty of content coming over the next week, guys. I was thinking I was thinking about doing a player ratings tomorrow on the channel, maybe live as well. If people would like to see that, hit me up in the chat if you'd like to see that or not. But if not, absolutely fine. I was just maybe thinking of other types of content that I can bring to the channel. Wednesday night, we'll see the return of Opposition Focus. That will be a pre-record, guys. I'm getting the Talking Wolves YouTube channel to help out on the collaboration for that. Obviously, ahead of the Wolves game. Thursday, predicted 11, and we'll react to the press conference. Friday, I'll be doing your live match preview, your live watch along for the Wolves game post match. So there's definitely plenty of content over the next week, guys. If you haven't already, actually, just let me. Charlie, you will build up your subs by interacting and reading out our thoughts. Good way to interact. Yeah, hopefully, mate. Hopefully. And would like to see that. Is that about the player ratings? If everyone else would like to see a live player ratings on the channel tomorrow, then smash a like on the video. Hit me up in the comments to say that you would like to see that. But we are going to leave it there, guys. We've been going for pretty much an hour now. As I said, big up to everybody that's joined the chat and got involved. As I said, plenty of content coming over the next week and how, you know, the next weeks, the next month. So honestly, keep it locked at Chatting Leeds. Hit that notification bell so that you're always aware of when I'm uploading and going live. Smash a like on the stream. It really helps get it out there. Please subscribe to the channel as well. We're on the road to 3,000 subscribers. If you could do me a solid and subscribe if you haven't already, it would really, really help me out. And yeah, smash all of your thoughts and opinions in the comment section if you are watching this after the live stream ends. Kevin's in again. Great chat, mate. Cheered me up a bit. Wife's watching Dancing on Ice. She don't know what she's missing. Brilliant. Kevin, get her involved. What's she doing? Get her on Chatting Leeds instead, mate. Get her on Chatting Leeds. But yeah, guys, I will see you in a bit and have a lovely rest of your evening. Cheers.